This is day 458 of Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Yesterday we finally started Siman Shin Beis. And today is Siman Shin Beis, Sif Beis, Kusif Yud Aleph. So, without any further ado, except I'm turning the pages here. Beis. Ulpeirush Rach. He's Kima Rosh Varad. So the Rabbeinu Chananel said that to shake off dirt doesn't seem to be libun, but to shake off dew and take off dew, that is considered to be kibbutz v'libun. And according to the Rach, the Rosh, and the Ran agreed, and the Mordechai v'Rashba v'chein mitzvah me'arayv b'asogos perek yud b'atur b'shulchan aruch, and divrei arayv and muvoyim would make a Magid Mishnah sham. That was the brackets. I'm not sure why it's only by the Magid Mishnah. The Ravid seems to be, I don't know. Maybe that's the case. The Ravid doesn't appear on the page. From Perek Yud Midin Ches Mefarish L'Gamri B'Ofen Acher. As a different shot. Zel Shara. Hamener Talis Chadosh Shchera. So he shakes out a new a black talis. They let it in order to make it look more, in order to adorn it, make it look better. Last year, to remove the white wool, which is hanging from it. Osim like craftsmen do. Chayav chatas, he's liable to come chatas. And here, makbid mutter. If he's not makbid on it, then it's mutter. We go directly from chayav chatas to mutter. Kal shara. Harei plusho ein zerak b'gemara malacha. Let's see it's ein zerak. Sorry, harei plusho ein zerak b'gemara malacha. It's only when you're finishing the completion of the garment. Last year at Temel Avon, to remove the white wool, and which clung to it at the time that you were working it. And liability is because of makre patish. In other words, you're completing a malacha, which is the obligation, which the liability which you have when you finish any malacha. According to this interpretation, works out well. Why? It's specifically an issue with a black garment. The lavon b'shachar nikar ma'od. White wool against the background of black garment is very recognizable. According to Rashi, Rabbeinu Chananel, why is it not an issue by white or by red garments? According to interpretation, not clear what's called new. They say it's something which they haven't used so many times. It's still in its period of newness. This also does not seem to give us a precise parameter. Be'alacha writes, because we don't know until what point it's considered new, you have to be careful all the time. It's like the opposite of Shu Yom Echad Livnei Misasecha, right? You have to always be careful until, right? And Machmir Tavla Bracha, and a Mako has what to rely. And it's best to do it regardless to a Shinoi Kilach Hayat. Okay, Gimel the Arukh HaShulchan says, we have to be concerned with all interpretations. But the main parish like Rabbeinu Chananel, min hatau. That's removing dew. Most possible that's the scenario. The man lo kaplan and niro mutar lo afil chatkila in haro. So somebody doesn't care, is not concerned on shaking out. He's allowed to shake out even chatkila ha'cham. Which seems to be strange to go from ochaya to mutar. If the garments are red or white or black and they're old, we start making we assume they're not meticulous to shake out the dew. But if we know that they are meticulous to shake out the dew, also it's something forbidden. Come over, just like new black garments, that when you know you're not makbid, it's permissible. The opposite is also true. Then you know it's makbid, it's also. It seems clear the zeh rak betal. It's only by dew. But with rain fell on a garment. The coach came back and snuffled a mine, and suddenly the garment fell into the water. Kol minei begadim, then no matter what the type of garment, makpidim l'naharon, we are meticulous to shake them out. Yim einam yishonim harbei, unless they're very old. V'zeush koser Rabbeinu Ramah b'sifal v'kol sheish also nahar beged shenosher b'mayim or sheraleh shamim. That's what the Ramah writes. It's only also to shake out a garment which is soaked in water or upon which rain fell. But dafka better chadash makpid alav, as long as it's a new garment on which you're meticulous. Hakalashana klomar, meaning chai gavna b'kol abgadim makpidim. All garments you're concerned with. When a garment is in its period of newness, it's not called old yet. And again, Mr. Buddha says here, even if it's an old garment, you have to be careful not to shake out the water strenuously, because then you might come to schita, to squeezing without strenuous shaking. Continues Arukh HaShulchan. The Rama also says that some people say, like Rashi, you're not allowed to shake out a garment. Oh, he says at the end of Zoshi, that's Rashi. You're not allowed to shake a garment from the dirt which is upon it. Or if you're makbid alav, you're meticulous, the total chush dvarav, it's best to take that into account. Akal shano, Zoshi tas Rashi kasam, that is the sheet of Rashi. Mr. Buddha says about this. The Rabbi says Medina, there's an isser to shake out dust, because many Rishonim hold like Rashi. Nevertheless, you can rely on the first opinion to be Mako by a non-Jew. So a non-Jew can shake out your garment from the dust. Hey, Kfir Yadu Etzleinu, as it's known by us, Al Kol Begadim Yikarim Shel Meshul Shel Tzember Tov, any garment which is precious, if it's made of silk or of good wool, Makpil and Aram, people are meticulous to shake them out of rain. Not just they're new, until they're completely old. And certainly garments which have fur on them, fine fur, various different types of animal pelts. Those who have hats of fine, good hairs. The pshitish makpid arbeit. It's clear that they're very meticulous. Shlo yedu aleinu shana, that rain should not fall upon them. Vadayam naram b'Shabbos chayim. And therefore, somebody who shakes off the rain on Shabbos is liable. And to very careful, warn people about this very much, because they can't move without mishum chora. But it's ikar adin not to shake them out, not just the chumrah. Vav iskamar haiman shok akufi miglima. Someone takes that akufe from a garment, he's liable because of makabatish, the finishing blow. Perish Rashi, these are the heads of curtains. When the the heads of threads which are tied into a curtain, when they're connected together, that where a thread was severed and you tie it back together again. Also, that when you have a straw and thin strips of wood, which got woven in without intent, and you take them out after you finish weaving. This is considered to be the end of the work. And you're because of the last blow. The Torah says like this: so you take small sticks and knots out of garment when these remain there after the weaving. If you are meticulous not to wear them until after you take them, wear the garments after you take them off. Chayav chatas, you're chayav chatas like on the shoro. So Krish Rashi, that's like Krish Rashi. But see me adds makri. If you're meticulous, if you don't care about it, violate it. There's no problem. And so too it says in Gemara. Zayin. Varamam sham kosa halokit yabolish shel gabi abgadim. Somebody who takes a protrusion from on top, literally a wart, from the top of a garment, going eli yabolosh b'klit semer, such as those warts which are in woolen garments. Chay v'shum makabatish is liable because the finishing blow. V'shak b'elim, if you're concerned about them, meticulous about them. I mean, if you remove them just as you were going along, I raised a pot to exempt Akal Shono. Chekos of Shono, see Bezo, Shono writes the same thing, but Dikbil Shono. And it's precise in his language. Levi Amar, not to say, Avin Edo Makbid, that if he's not meticulous, having Mashal Beina Shenedo Shemakbid, that it would indicate that we need to know where he is Makbid in order to make him Chayav. Then, okay, that's not the case. The Gamistam Amina Makbid. If it's a generic case, we say he was Makbid. Elotaki Kumar, this is what he says. Vushakpid Aleim, there's meticulous about them, Kumar the Mashal Lokton, Lokton, which is posted when he removes these protrusions. He removes them in order to make the garment nicer. I mean, son derech esek, but he takes out just without paying attention. Meaning, there's no problem wearing it before he removes those protrusions. Elamash looked at my thought out she's gathering now. It's not because of specific adornment. Elamaisa esek bam, which is something which he's doing like by rote. Shvilishum kavana without any specific intent. Chagav the mutter, in such a case, permissible. And this is because he assumes that that bistama, even if he doesn't have unless he has a specific intent not to do it for that purpose, is mamash misasek ba'alma. So we assume that stama is that he is interested and he isn't meticulous about this, because people are normally meticulous about removing these protrusions. He says in the brackets here, and Rav Ram will explain that which it says he's meticulous about this. Also in the same manner, that means that stoma is meticulous. Seems to me that this is the kavanah of Mogav Avram the Taz, but it's not the kavanah of the Torah. Ches, I heard a different interpretation. It's known that the tailors first they stick long strings in the garment with a few what's it called when you sew a few stitches, with a few stitches in order to connect the top part and the bottom part until they complete the sewing of the garment. Of the Gemara beged, when the garment's complete, not only called chutim beged, they remove all these garments from the clothing. Nikraim stirig vanias. L'chach kora Gemara kufei, and this is the Gemara calls them akufei. They shechutim ehem makim kol beged, because these strings surround the entire garment. V'zeh malacha chodesh beged is the final working of the garment. That's because of the finishing blow. Mr. Bura says it's possible even the Raisa. So, when you have some, nowadays you have it occasionally too, when you have a pocket, which you get when you buy a new suit and it's sealed shut. Told me that on Shabbos will be makabapatish, because this is finishing the making of the garment. It not the plastic tags attached with plastic, which come on the garment. They're separate from the garment. They're just attached in order to keep them there because it's convenient. But the garment's really complete, even if you don't remove those plastic loops. But if something was actually sewn shut until you ripped it open, then that would be Maka Patish on Shabbos. And he says, all interpretations, it's not considered to be an argument. All these things are the completion of the garment. And the Marafarish Kain, this is how so-and-so explains it. That's how so-and-so explains it. He says in brackets here, somebody takes the shlau, which the tailors make, that's Mako Patish. As we said, it seems to be the stitches the tailor makes of various different threads in order temporarily while sewing the garment. Test, because of Rabbi Ramah, the Sif Aleph. Avo mutter lesir notice min abeg Shabbos, take feathers of garments on Shabbos. Ad kal lashona, end quote. Yesh mishachosh shel iser. But Avram seems to want to answer this. Ain't come out like this, but it's not a dispute. Devad el Pirush Rashi. So according to Rashi, Shapirish Minaret Alisim Minafar Shechayv, who says if you shake dirt out of the towel Shechayv, Gam Bezel Osir. Here too, it's forbidden. In makbir love, if you're meticulous about it, can move on, obviously. The Morella posting, but according to most the rock betal chayav, only by do it's a problem, flub off or not by dirt. Kol shekenim and also think beda. Certainly by feathers, there's no issue. Abein Ramag Hachi Kamar. I'm saying this. Tava, we should be claiming maybe Ushiyesh Lach Shosh Lepeish Rashi. Even though he said before we have to take into account Rashi's interpretation, when it comes to dirt, you come notes is mutter. Nevertheless, by feathers, it's okay. Mostly are not concerned with this. Because we see, a lot of people go with feathers on their hats. Not the feathers that people used to have on the sides of hats for decoration, which come in and out of style from time to time. I'm talking about random feathers on the hats. Somebody who's meticulous about it, it's certainly also for that person. And this is a way to paskin. Mr. Brewer says that it's mutter even if it's a new garment and even if you're meticulous about them being there, because since the feathers are not stuck into the garment, it's not like water and dirt, and therefore it's okay. So that is actually a big argument. Arukh HaShulchan being machmir. Arukh HaShulchan says even if you're makbid, it's also for sure. But Mishnah says no. Even your makbid says it's extrinsic to the garment and not attached to it, so therefore it would still be permissible. In any event, says Arukh HaShulchan further, custom mishiyachal lo zera pishtan o tavshuk. So somebody who got a seed, flaxseed, or some of the food he was eating on his garment. Mutakov is that to peel it off. Lo shag was in lab, and that's not called whitening. Some people want to be stringent about a new and dark and black garment. Mishnah Bura. Here's number 36. V'lo it's not clear. Okay, he's arguing Mishnah Bura. The lo shaykh hazeh shem libun klau. So it should not be considered to be whitening at all. Mishnah istabchlo begada bekotzim. Somebody who got his garment stuck in thorns. No, his thorns got stuck in his garment. You can take them out, but you should do it in private. Umismamea kidei shelo yikro. I guess he does it slowly, in order that it shouldn't get torn. Minikro, but if they do get torn, and you're not liable to have a davar shem miskan because you didn't intend that for that to happen. Because of it, to take them out strenuously, they're definitely going to rip it. Seek ratio and subseek ratio, it's for sure going to rip it, and therefore it's prohibited. The Rabban, of course, because it's Mekalka. Brackets, he says, much because of Shem says, B'Shem Hazichronos, Lagabi Abolos, that's he writes about those protrusions in the garments. After the makbid Osir, even don't care about it, should be Osir to Miyani, the Gemara Shem Lefa. So the Gemara says, like we said before, the opposite. Yud, Kasaram Percha Beis, Dincha Beis. Also attacking Beis Achab Gadim. Now to fix sleeves of garments. Shavran Shvarim, and to break them into little breakages. There's some takdim mechol, like you fix them on weekdays. Habaгаdim, when you launder these garments. Okay, Imekabli Habaгаdim b'Shabbos. So you shouldn't fold garments on Shabbos. There's shows mechol like you do on a weekday. Habagadim like garments after you launder them. If you didn't have another vessel to wear, you're allowed to fold it, pashto, and unfold it with kasosbo, and to cover with it, and use it obviously to wear it on. Put it on kadeshis noyabo Shabbos to get adorn oneself on Shabbos. And that's only if it's a new white garment. Because when I guess if you don't fold it carefully, it's going to get crushed and immediately dirty. When you fold it, only one person folded on his own. Folded two people together. Also, obviously, because it's more extends it more. End quote. There was a Mishnah Bura here who says if he has another garment for Shabbos, he's not allowed to fold this one. if he has no, what I mean to say is he has another Shabbos clothing. It's also to fix to fold this one, but weekday clothing is not called that he has clothing to switch to. Okay, so all this requires a lot of analysis. So everything that has to tell you about because you're fixing the garments. This is not simple folding like we do when we put away clothing. It's folding like the craftsman does. Like he writes on a sleeve that is breaks. What does that mean? Creases. That's a professional folding to make creases. I will keep a brush, but if it's a simple folding, it's not a problem no matter what. Vadin Arishon, the first halacha who bebeitza is the Masechta Beitza Shem Mishnah B'Shabbos. Some words Mishnah Shabbos Ochin Yusham. It also says there Mitzimus Amitos Shabbos. You can make the beds from Friday night to Shabbos day. Avalom Shabbos and Tzon Shabbos, but not from Shabbos to after Shabbos. But Din Zakos Rambam Perikov Gimel Din Zayin. This halacha is written by the Rambam. Begam Sham Bir Tam Combination Masakin. The Rambam says by making the beds it's like fixing. Because the Isim Mishum Yad Shema L'Chol. Sham. Rambam says because you're making efforts for weekdays. Yudaf Yesh Now Kiyal Dina Be'atam. There's a different halacha between the reasons. The Rambam Leis Leitam Tircha. According to Rambam, it's not an issue of your too much toil. Mutlik Po Beged B'Kipu Pashut Shein Bo Tikun Kli Af L'Chol. Without the fold clothing, if it's a simple folding, which is not fixing it, even if it's for preparatory to a weekday, I guess in the course of putting it away. The Raven also, according to Raven, not allowed to Mishum Tirchlim Shabbos Chol, because you're doing work from Shabbos to a weekday. V'yoyali, it seems to me, says Arukh HaShulchan, the Raven, Gam Achim HaKapli came also Tzorah Chol, Afilum Ein Bo Time Misaki. According to Raven, that it's also to fold the garments if for weekdays, even if you're not fixing anything. So he said that's what I was saying about the Taisus Shom. The Taisus says that you're not allowed to fold the tiles of a shul after you use it on Shabbos because that's doing preparing them for tomorrow. End quote. And by tiles, obviously you're folding, you're not fixing it in any way, shape, or form. And the problem is because of the extra toil. Says in the brackets, to toss a garment away without folding it all, that's not normal. It's not the way people conduct themselves. And therefore he says it really means to do some precise, at least somewhat precise folding. Imprecise folding, even correct as mutter, because that's what people do, put garments away. And that we will see in the Mordechai. Mr. Willow says somebody wants to mark himself not to fold at all. It's definitely better. So that's another basement listing Arukh HaShulchan, Mr. Arukh HaShulchan says it's menschlich to fold the garment. When you put it away, you fold the garment after you use it. It's not a preparatory for anything. Mr. Arukh says Tov Lachmir. That's not to do even that.